Check this out. God did not design us to be okay with poverty. So naturally, why wouldn't you be uncomfortable if you're experiencing any kind of lack in any situation? You have to understand that God designed life for us to be happy. He designed life for us to be prosperous and abundant. And whenever we find ourselves out of alignment with happiness and abundance, then that's a sign that we're out of balance, and that's not where we're supposed to be. I had to learn that if I can remain grateful and thankful, knowing that this is not about me, this is about the enemy coming for the glory of God, right? So when we're not in our right state of mind, when we're not in the right state of spirit, and we get off track and offline with God's original intention for us to be abundant and prosperous, this is where we risk falling into energies and habits and patterns that can lead us so far off that we find ourselves in poverty and in lack. Because you have to understand that poverty and lack is not just not having money. It's also not being happy with yourself and where you are in life. It doesn't necessarily mean that you don't have money. It just means that your spirit is poor. You're not happy. You're not in a place where you're happy, and so your spirit is on the verge of being poor. You're on the verge of experiencing a poverty spirit and poverty surroundings. So imagine if a person gets off balance with that for long periods of time in their life, then they end up creating habits and patterns to survive poverty, to survive lack. They end up creating habits and patterns to survive a spirit of lack and a spirit of poverty when they were never supposed to stay there. You were only supposed to take it as a sign and a lesson that this is not where you're supposed to be. But instead, because we didn't have nobody to really explain that to us, we ended up operating in habits and patterns and belief systems that began to create worlds for the poverty spirit, for the lack spirit. That was never God's intention for your life. God did not design no part of his creation to ever have to live in poverty or lack. But he did design us to withstand it. He did design us to be able to go through it and come out as pure gold being forged by fire. If you're experiencing feelings of sadness or depression, or you're just, you in a space where you feel betrayed, or you're going through those emotions and things like that, take that as a sign. Take that as a sign that this was not God's intention for you. These energies are not meant for us to live and create habits and patterns out of. These energies are meant for us to take it as a sign that this is not what God had in mind for you. This is not God's intention for your life. So you have to take that journey of exploring. Where is my happy place? Where is that place that God has for me where I am happy and abundant and prosperous? Because that is God's original intention for your life. And you can start at being grateful. Be grateful that God does not allow you to be comfortable in your mess. Be grateful that God did not design us to be comfortable in unhappiness. You're unhappy for a reason, because that is a sign that that is not where you're supposed to be. So you got to find happy. In Jesus' name, God bless.